Hello friends, welcome back to Strategic Management and Blue Ocean Strategy. And we are trying to understand the elements of a strategy canvas and how to develop a strategy canvas. And believe me, this is a wonderful tool, and if you will try to master the art of developing strategy canvas, you would sort of be inclined to do it for almost everything. Even sometimes you may experiment in doing on your personal professional growth or differentiating yourself from others as a product, if you will look at that basically. Just a thought, I try to do that many a times and so on. So let us see what we do have in store further in Blue Ocean Strategy and what can we learn about strategy canvas with a slight recap on what we were talking about. So this is where we were, and you see in my earlier session I told you that this red curve, I did not say what was that. This is industry value curve. This is how industry is behaving actually. So offering levels, you have these are offering levels. So a particular point wherein you are offering let us say this first dot can be the price, then what are the elements of the product which industry is suggesting of. Imagine cement industry, imagine wristwatch industry, imagine soap industry, consumer products industry, shampoos, atta, chawal, whatever, rice, whichever way you want to look at it. Imagine chocolates also many a times, and this is very interesting. You see silk, they created a blue ocean for itself. The organization created blue ocean for silk, and you would realize that they differentiated themselves with a different kind of a perspective, and they went for this blue curve. We have not yet reached to the point where we have sort of opened up that what these dots mean and what this curves mean and why it goes down and why it goes up and so on. We will be talking about that. So this is industry value curve and this is Blue Ocean strategic move, the Blue Ocean way. Let us see how it looks further. So strategy canvas serves two purposes, and we have briefly talked about that as well. It captures the current state of play in the known market space. I mentioned that briefly last time, which allows users to clearly see the factors that an industry competes on and invests in. Here it is, look at this once more. Imagine any industry you want to, as I said, cement industry, automotive industry. So it looks into the factors that an industry competes on and invests in. And when I say industry, that means all the products in that category, all the organizations producing those kind of products, they are on the same curve more or less, depending upon a slight difference which they might be trying to create. And then it further says that what buyers receive and what the strategic profiles of the major players are. For example, mobile phone companies, most of the mobile phone companies, Apple might be a difference, and I am just giving you a hint that Apple actually represents Blue Ocean strategy, and they have used, I am not sure they have specifically targetedly used Blue Ocean framework, but they can fall into this sphere of Blue Ocean strategic move. Then further, the second point which strategy canvas serves as a purpose, we are talking of two purposes. Second element is that it propels users to action by reorienting their focus from competitors to alternatives and from customers to non-customers of the industry, and allows you to visualize how a Blue Ocean strategic move breaks away from the existing red ocean reality. You would say that did Apple focus upon non-users? Yes, many a times they did. Many people in the initial most phases of when Apple started marketing their products, they purchased a mobile phone because of Apple at that particular kind of a stage, the features Apple had at that particular kind of a stage. And many a times although now it seems a mix of some blue ocean elements and some red ocean elements for Apple, as I said, competitors would follow you there, and then that blue ocean would get converted into red ocean somewhere. And if authors would have talked about a mix of both the colors, that would have been that kind of a space, but then definitely Apple is a differentiable product, although at this particular stage might not be called as a blue ocean strategy per se, but then still there are elements to that. But in movies it was very clear when we talked about those kind of movies. In Honda Activa case it is very clear. In many in many cases like Decathlon, as far as their marketing orientation goes, it is quite clear. And if you will choose product wise, then also in many cases you would find that they have a clear demarcation in terms of as far as how they are marketing those products and so on. But Decathlon is an organization, as far as total offerings of Decathlon goes, that can be put in Blue Ocean framework. Although I should suggest here that Blue Ocean framework primarily focuses upon a product, but then a bundle of products offered by an organization into a particular kind of with a particular kind of an orientation or organization's perspective, when we are looking at that organization, that this organization is offering something, that can also be seen with the Blue Ocean kind of a framework. When we talk of Amazon with reference to Blue Ocean framework, we do not differentiate the kinds of products they are marketing, we differentiate Amazon as compared to other online retailers or as compared to retailers at large. So, that can also be seen. So, a name, that is why authors they have called this as offerings. So, primarily it is focused on products, but then a name like Amazon can represent a bundle of offerings, wherein several products with several kinds of orientations, with especially delivering at your doorstep and differentiating by return policy or let us say pay at the doorstep policy and those kind of things. So, Amazon as an organization can be put and thought of within Blue Ocean framework also. For example, Netflix, they have a bundle of offerings. Movies individually can be put up there, Netflix as an organization can also be put up there, and that is how we can look at as far as the Blue Ocean framework goes. Although the origin is associated with somehow product and offerings at large. So, when you look at product, so offerings in terms of product, price, place, promotion, and when you look at it with an organizational perspective, the bundle of offerings which that organization offers to you. W. Chan Kim has demonstrated that very effectively, and this framework, the canvas encompasses almost everything. That is where it is usable for both the elements, both the aspects. Now, look at this, and that is precisely what I was talking of. When you are talking of an organization, you can choose one of the products of Patanjali to be demonstrated with a Blue Ocean perspective. For example, their Dant Kanti can be used as an example to be fit in here across the Blue Ocean framework also, but largely Patanjali can be seen with this kind of a framework. For example, authors they have demonstrated organizational perspective to be demonstrated with the Blue Ocean framework also. Cirque du Soleil and those kind of organizational examples have been chosen in terms of their strategic perspective, because this is a strategic tool. But I have tried to think in terms of product as well. Many a times when one product represents the organization, you can do that, largely you can think of doing that as well. So, now here comes, this is the complete strategy canvas. Now, if you will look at conventional consumer product companies, you would realize that on the horizontal axis there are elements, there is price, usage of chemicals and ingredients, cosmetic and apparent usage just for use for apparent reasons, for example, cosmetic element of the products, disintegration in the value chain also, kind of different kinds of distribution systems and so on, and conventional perspective of consumption also, this product is to be used for this kind of a thing, for example, teeth whitening element or strength of gums element and so on in case of toothpaste or shampoos. The organizations they have been focusing upon with different kind of a consumer product elements, differentiating their products, but having a brand perspective around those products with their name involved there, and a bundle of offerings being offered by those organizations as far as the whole situation goes. It is very easy for us to understand in terms of one single kind of a service or product. For example, it very well fits into the circus case. When you will go to the website, you would realize that Cirque du Soleil example talks of a circus basically, and offerings talk about the trapeze shows, the animal shows and those kind of things, and that kind of a demonstration can be there. So, it is much easier for us to understand that way, but then you can fit it on organizations largely like Patanjali. We have tried to do that for you. So, that is where the price, then this usage of chemicals to a particular kind of a level. Within those offerings, you have this kind of a graph which emerges. Value chain, somewhere this, the distribution system and the value chain puts up here, and the level says that this is how within that offering, the level of this element within that offering is at this particular kind of a point, or it has been prioritized that way. So, price is optimally this at this level, X level, and then the concentration of the organization in terms of the product and the constitution of the product is at that level, and then the cosmetic element of that level. So, we have tried to differentiate everything offered by one particular kind of an organization within an industrial framework and we have to try to disintegrate that into certain number of offerings. So, that is how this industry canvas or this industry graph goes, the curve goes, and then it reaches to a particular kind of a situation. The competitors definitely they follow the same path. The curve is similar with slight difference. For example, the competitor may have a lower price. They might be using more natural elements, or let us say organic elements basically, as compared to synthetic elements as far as those things goes. That might be more towards nurturing the skin, not just for the apparent value probably. The distribution might be similar also, slightly on the lower scale might be similar, and so on. So, the curve goes in a similar kind of a fashion. But then as the canvas proposes, there are 4 elements to it, and we discussed that it is diagnostic as well as what can be added, what actions can be taken. So, diagnostic as well as actions. Diagnostic in the terms of that how to look at the offerings by the competitors, what differentiation can be created, what value innovation can be done, what how to neutralize the cost value trade off, and how to actually create a differentiation while keeping the costs in check. So, cost along with the differentiation, cost and differentiation, how to do that. So, what what is to be eliminated from the offerings? That is the prime question as against the competition, while not changing the positioning of the product or the organization, to keeping up the positioning of the organization, but differentiating it and definitely going towards the non-users and many a times users of the existing organizations also, but largely focusing upon non-users and creating an uncontested market space. That is the prime thing basically we have to understand. And if you will try to put up this on Honda Activa case, which I will try to do that for you, you will realize that it is much simpler for us to understand. So, let us focus upon an organizational framework as of now. So, once you start thinking in terms of what is to be eliminated, so you went for completely natural and organic products, you eliminated the use of synthetic material almost completely. Then you actually focused upon using every product which the organization is producing and marketing for an intrinsic value that product should carry. The value chain is completely integrated, starting from as far as supplies to production to distribution, and Patanjali created a composite value around its products, and integrated value around its products throughout when they reach to the retail and marketed for the customers as such. And then conventional perspective of consumption was every product has to have a particular kind of a value which customer must feel in relation to their health and the effect of that product on their health for the betterment of their health and so on. What is to be reduced? Comparative modes of awareness. Everyone goes for advertising, positioning it with a different kind of an orientation. Either large consumer products company, they might go for differentiating every product, or let us say bundle of products with an offering kind of a perspective, or let us say product category, by positioning them with a conventional kind of a thought as compared to their competitors. Or you may reduce that, you may change that orientation, and then you may also augment the complete system of reaching to the customers as far as the situation goes. So, you may reduce that as well. So, you are eliminating few things and you are reducing few things, and now you are raising few things. What you are trying to raise? You are trying to raise few elements like integrated value chain based on belief kind of Ayurveda, health, Swadeshi. So, you are trying to put up a positioning around consumer products which are related to and a thinking associated with the benefits associated with Ayurveda as a science, and then that things produced in your own country, that kind of an element is also raised in front of the customers, and the value of the products with the benefits along with the benefits associated with those products are demonstrated practically and personally, marketed by the proponent or the producers themselves, the head of the organization themselves. He becomes the brand ambassador, demonstrating that with the help of his belief and usage and experience, and whole of the processes which they have been developing along with their own skills and knowledge which they have gained in Himalayas. That is how it is demonstrated. They have created that kind of a perspective around that. So, that is raised, and what did they create? They create trust, faith and benefit, holistic marketing orientation, market development and co-creation, integration of health and consumption plus values, and ultimately their products started selling well. You see, the Amla juice, Amla and lychee juice, the toothpaste and the food products like biscuits and those kind of things are there, and even noodles, atta noodles, those kind of things were also marketed and so on. So ultimately this is how they created in terms of, and price they slightly increased, slightly. So, they are charging premium for that. So, you see, eliminate few things, reduce few things, raise few things and create few things. So, diagnostic element is around what to be eliminated and what to be reduced, and then action element around that what is to be raised and what is to be created largely. So, let us see how we can further simplify this thought process. I will just give you a demonstration on how we look at the Department of Management Studies of Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, where I belong to. We also sort of systematically thought of a blue ocean perspective around while positioning our department. So, offering levels in terms of price, it was slightly on the comparative level, at the comparative level as compared to other B schools, less than many of those, because as I told you, although students are not customers, they calculate in terms of ROIs, return on investment, because they think about paying the fees as an investment as far as the situation goes. So, there was a price level, then a usable, moderate, good infrastructure with all the ingredients involved, the computers, the labs, the library, the books and the classrooms, and everything which every B school suggests about. Physical knowledge resources, books and journals, their managerial placement focus, which is one of the most important, so every institution is focusing upon. So, we also were focusing upon, if you will look at us as the dotted line when we were there. Then many non-futuristic subjects, I would not say redundant subjects, but common subjects which are being taught by everyone more or less. And then fun and humor based learning, there are several games and those kind of things which everyone focuses upon, and innovation focused learning wherein we innovate upon the pedagogical inputs and the methodologies and so on, and case study based methodology and those kind of things. So, this is how this industry or set of B schools, if we look at them as industry, which is not appropriate at large, but still just to put up an example in front of you. So, this is how the curve goes. Now, what did we try to do? We tried to rationalize the infrastructure, because we are Indian Institute of Technology, we have a huge infrastructure. So, we tried to use the best of the facilities which IIT has to offer and coupled up those things as per our requirements. For example, we have a huge central library. So, why to have a very specific library as far as Department of Management Studies goes. So, we started focusing upon the resources based in as far as our own library goes. We have a central placement. So, we coupled up those things with the central placement also. So, we eliminated sort of the requirement for only focusing upon the placements from only from our side. So, we started utilizing as far as the placement facilities of the complete institute, the whole of the institute goes. We eliminated non-futuristic courses, we focused upon contemporary as well as futuristic courses, and we have augmented the complete structure of our syllabi and the course and the syllabi also, with having included the baskets from social sciences also, AI and data sciences also, and so on, many futuristic courses. And that advantage we have because so many other departments, they are offering courses, and we have created baskets out of those courses which our students can choose mandatorily, but open within those baskets and so on. And so few things we reduced. What did we raise? We raised faculty participation and role in learning. And how faculty participation role in learning was increased? Because primarily IITs, they focus at large, at very large level as far as the research goes. So Department of Management Studies IIT Roorkee, though, is a very small department in terms of number of batches or those kind of things. We have only one batch, and if you include 2 years, so two sets of students, first year and second year MBA students. Now we have executive MBA program also, but then we started focusing upon good number of PhD scholars to be guided by less number of or moderate number of faculty members, with lots of research orientation and interdisciplinary research which is being conducted with the help of several other departments, and taking lot many projects from different funding agencies and doing live practical researches in our department, and raising the level of research and utilizing that research for our management teaching, our own practical experiments to be demonstrated in classes, and those kind of things, they supported us at the end of the day, and we raised that kind of a level. And then what did we create? We created scriptural knowledge also from all the scriptures for that matter, because we were conducting managerial researches in all the spheres, in marketing, in supply chain, in strategy, and we were collating everything, every sphere of knowledge together at one place. Environmental understanding also, because everything is going on, this is a large ecosystem, so we have so many people working on those kind of things, and we can get those clues from all the sides. Market development and co-creation, and that is where we started focusing upon developing a particular kind of a market sphere around the specialized thing which we were offering, targeting non-users as well, means people who were looking at non-conventional MBA programs, and they were technologically oriented as well, they were looking for AI and data sciences as well, they were looking at Indian knowledge system based knowledge education as well, and so many things all together. They were looking at some elements of social sciences as well. So we tried to develop that kind of a thing, and finally we created a perspective around leading the world and serving the society through innovations, how to look into serving the world through innovations. So we started focusing upon that, and that helped basically. That put up DoMS as a unique example, wherein in terms of research output, we grew to the levels of being amongst the topmost institutions in the country, and our publications and our research output is lauded all over the world, and so on. So that is a practical kind of a thing which we try to do as far as management education goes. And you see, if you will try to use this similar kind of an orientation, the eliminate, reduce, raise, create framework for any of the organizations for that matter. Now this is food for thought largely. So if you will try to do that for any of the organization, let's say I was talking of Honda Activa for that matter. What did they do? They have a particular kind of a price which can be seen here. So we can think in terms of as far as the situation goes. And what did they eliminate? They eliminated a particular orientation of a scooter from the scooter itself. Now this is an automotive, not just a scooter. This is an automotive which has a comfort of motorcycle and an ease of scooter, or both ways. Scooter is also comfortable many a times. This is they eliminated this factor of that this is focused upon a particular kind of a age group or gender as such. They eliminated several kinds of things, and just to mention that gears were also automated and so on, and electric start were also given, and some boot space was also given. So product was also augmented, the perspective around the product was also augmented, and the positioning was also universalized. So they eliminated several things which conventionally could be found in a traditional scooter, which is depicted by this red curve So, they eliminated few elements. You may list those elements, and this is just food for your thought. Basically, you can put up those elements as far as this elimination sphere goes. What did they reduce? We can put few things here as well. That can be done with the perspective of the competition, that is what other scooters were doing at that time, how other scooters were specifically focusing upon a particular kind of customer category, and they were what they were focusing upon. So, what are the elements which Honda Activa actually reduced from its sphere? What did they raise? The comfort levels, or particular kind of a posture level, or kind of ease of riding, the average of the scooter, or whatsoever, that can be put up here, and you can choose that. I would not just point out specifically what did they do. We can compare that by creating a chart on, for example, if you have witnessed and seen other scooters, let us say LML Vespa was there, Bajaj was there, and you can list down those elements and you put up Honda Activa here, and then you try to find out what specifically did they raise, and then what did they create. You see, sometimes it is very important for us to learn that sometimes when you are eliminating few things, basically the counterparts of those things which you are eliminating can be created as well. For example, you are actually eliminating the need for scooter to be marketed in terms of a particular kind of an age group and a target segment or a gender. That thing can be created within the product, which actually creates a sphere wherein everyone likes that. Everyone use it for every purpose, for short distance commuting, for slightly longer distance commuting, for even semi-rural spaces, or let us say rural spaces also, for hilly areas also, for in many hilly areas I have seen people renting out Honda Activa, people going to for rides towards hilly areas. In Goa kind of places, Honda Activa is being rented on as far as for people who visit these kind of tourist places. For in as far as Andaman and those kind of places also you would find such kind of scooters. So, despite of different geographical disparity, where every vehicle would not be useful, Honda Activa created a sphere around their scooter wherein they can fit in with every geographical sphere also, by all sorts of customers also, for all sorts of purpose also. And that is what they created. You can list down 4, 5, 6 several elements as far as what did they create. I leave it to you what you list as far as what Honda Activa eliminated, what did they reduce, what did they raise, and what specifically did they create. At the end of the day, when you start listing on these elements along these dots, you would realize that you have actually started practicing blue ocean strategy canvas. I will leave this discussion here. I would be joining back with another incremental thought about blue ocean strategy canvas, and would be demonstrating all these 4 elements with the nitty-gritties associated with these 4 elements, that is eliminate, reduce, raise and create. Till then, put up some thought on this canvas which I have demonstrated in front of you. Use Honda Activa as an example, or use any other example which can be handy to you, or which can be conducive to you for being used here. I will be catching up with you next time. Till then, goodbye.